Hello everyone, welcome back to jQuery lessons on Codecademy. So in the last lesson we started looking at handling events with JavaScript. Today we're going to be looking at the same topic, but we're going to be looking at mouse and keyboard events. So I'm guessing that the first lesson is on double click, seeing as it's DB click. So let's see, or DBL click. Now that we've reviewed our jQuery event handlers, let's learn a new one. So we might want to cause a jQuery effect when a user double clicks on an element. I guessed it, and so did you guys if you got it right. So rather than just single clicking, we can do this with double clicking instead. So in case you didn't want somebody to accidentally click something, or you specifically wanted them to double click on something instead of single click, then you can use this. Instructions: use the .dbClick handler to make our div fade out fast, and make sure to double click on your div to see the effect. Oh, they have removed the whole thing once again. I think I might just keep this on a notepad or something, as in a virtual notepad, not a physical one, because it's just annoying to have to type it out each time. Dot ready, and semicolon function, that. And that, and I also want to get rid of that. Next we want to, well, make the div disappear. So on double click, so we want to make this not 4, not 9 brackets, there we go, and we have the div in between dot dbl click. I want to do something, and that is not where that goes. I want to get rid of that, put function there, that should be fine, and I want to make it fade out fast. So this, I'll use this in this case because I think that this is quite useful. This dot fade out and fast with a semicolon at the end. And now if we test it, let's just test it. If we single click on it, nothing is happening. As you can hear, I am actually single clicking it. Hopefully you can actually hear it. I am bringing my mouse closer. Now if we double click it, as you can see, it disappeared. Let's try that again. Okay, save and submit. Single click. Nothing, actually, yeah, nothing would happen because I haven't hovered over it. Single click, nothing. Double click, fades out. Hopefully that proves the point that it is actually accepting double clicks. So let's move on. Hover. So what if you wanted to create an effect when your mouse is on top of an object, then have that effect vanish when your mouse moves away? You might notice this effect in use on many sites' navigation bars. So for example, if you want the home button to scroll, well, it's usually not the home button. You usually have like a menu button or tab that you can hover over, and a whole menu slides down once you put your mouse over it. But when you get your mouse out of it, then it slides back up. So let's see how we can do that ourselves. So you might note, yep, okay, I have already read that. So let's see what this code is. So when it's hovering, so we have a div.hover. Where does that end? I cannot find, it ends there. Okay, so we have function do on this, so whatever we're hovering over, highlight it so that the user can see what they're hovering over more easily. And then what else happens is remove class highlight once the mouse is moved away. So we first select the element we want to modify, and in this case that is div. Secondly, notice that our hover effect, or hover, is able to make two functions separated by a comma. The comma is very important, so it's like listing the amount of functions that you're doing. So the third function, or no, the first function, sorry, we pass will be run when we first mouse over our target. Here we apply a class highlight, so that should be in our CSS, or maybe it's a default one, so I'm guessing it's the default one for this. The second function what does it do, will be called when our mouse leaves the object. This is where the remove class this is where we remove the class highlight, because hover accepts both functions as input, I guess, if you want to call it that, or arguments would probably be more appropriate. So your second function doesn't have to be the opposite of the first function, but it would be very common to have them in pairs. So it doesn't have to be like that, which probably means that you can also have other event handlers that accept more than one function, which don't do one and then the opposite. Instructions. We're ready to apply a hover effect to our site's navigation bar. So we have these three, but nothing happens when we go hover over them. So in script.js, use your selector to target our menu items. Oh, they've already made bones of that. Okay. Menu items, they are all divs, so let's just do the divs. I'm happy they have done this for me for once. When we hover over the menu item, let's apply a class of active. So function, nothing in there, and hover, and again, let's look at the code again. I just need a refresher, and on this I want to add class, and I want to add active. So I'm guessing, yep, we have active as our own class. That's why they have highlight, but we have active. So basically we could just copy this code and instead of highlight put active there. Let's just do that. There we go. Save and submit. We go over them. As you can see, they one by one get changing color, and when I move my mouse away, their color fades away. So let's see, and we are done with that. Moving on. So another event we can make use of is .focus. We can say an element has focus when we click on it or tab over to it. So if you've ever filled out a form on a web page and seen how each text box lights up when you tab to it or click on it, you've seen focus in action. So the .focus event handler only works on elements that can receive focus. The list of these elements is a bit vague, but HTML elements like text area and inputs are the usual suspects. So check out the form we've set up in the result tab. Okay? If you click on the input field, you'll see it automatically highlights in a delightful baby blue. Does it? Oh, it slightly changes color. I don't know how noticeable that is. But yeah, if you hold it down, you can definitely notice that it changes color to blue. We want our highlighting to be red though instead. So we can do this with two tools, .focus and our .css function from the last section. We want to write a bit of jQuery code that will change our input's outline color to red when it gains focus. Instructions in script.js get your document ready. And I again didn't do what I was going to say I would do, but oh well. Document and .ready, do all of this stuff, and function, and that, and that. There we go. Do two things afterwards. Turn input into a jQuery element and call .focus event handler on it. So let's do that. Input. Okay, and .focus event handler, so it's going to be another kind of function thing. And I will do that. Then inside your event handler function, call .css on your input element and pass it to inputs. Okay, so let's do that and then move on. Input.css and pass it to inputs. The CSS element to change, so outline color is what we are changing, and then what we want to change it to, separated by a comma usually, and that's what I'm going to go with. There we go. Expectant, okay, that's fine. No errors because the error showed up because I only had one input there. Not all browsers have equal CSS implementation, so for this reason, if you are using Firefox, you will need to first change the outline style to solid. So I want to do the same thing. Oops. Because I am actually using Firefox, so I just need to add another line and change those into other things. So let's save and submit code, and let's actually see. As you can see, once I click on it, red shows up. I actually do wonder what happens if I don't have that, because I am actually using Firefox. Okay, so nothing actually shows up. That's weird. So keep that in if you are using Firefox. I am not sure about other browsers, but I don't think that that can do any harm. So just keep it then if in doubt. Save and submit, and oh, come on. It was fine now. There we go. Cool. The key down event. So you're not limited to mouse events in jQuery. You can trigger events using the keyboard as well. The .keyDown event is triggered whenever a key on the keyboard is pressed. It only works on whatever page element has focus, so you'll need to click on the window containing your div before pressing a key in order for you to see its effects. Oh well. This is why you rarely see much keyboard action on web pages, because it takes quite a lot of effort to get it set up properly. So let's go ahead and combine our new event with a new effect. .animate. I'm guessing we're going to be moving that around our page. So we'll use this to move an object on the screen whenever we press a key. The animate effect takes two inputs, the animation to perform and the time in which to perform the animation. Here's an example. So document ready function, and then we instantly do this. So we animate a div to move to the left, I'm guessing 10 pixels, and then 500, oh that's 500 milliseconds, so in half a second. This will take the first div it finds and move it 10 pixels to the right. Oh, it's to the right, that's weird, okay. Remember, increasing the distance from the left margin moves something to the right. Oh, we're increasing the distance from a margin, okay. Plus equals bit is just a shorthand for take the existing number and add 10 to it, just like you would do in mathematical functions in any programming language, I'm pretty sure. In this case, it adds 10 pixels to the current distance from the left margin. So if this was, say, I don't know, 20 pixels, it's going to take 20, add 10, and place the element there. Instructions after setting up with document, they haven't done that again. That is not how you spell ready. Okay, function. There we go. Call the .keyDown event on document. Okay, so we are working directly with document, we're not targeting anything else. Key down. Okay, we want the whole document object to respond whenever a key is pressed. So inside your .keyDown handler, animate your div with the same input as above. Okay, so I can just copy this line, but I need to add a function before it, or the function function. So let's test that out. Now if I click any button, that happens. I actually want to make it move more than that so that the effect is more noticeable for you guys. So let's full screen that again. So hopefully you heard me clicking something or pressing a button, and as you can see, it is actually moving. you can press any button, which is kind of annoying because you would usually expect to press like a right arrow or something, but yeah, that's what happens if you are using keyboard input. Also, this is kind of annoying. You also get the search open down there, which is not that convenient, but oh well. So if you guys have any questions, do feel free to ask in the comments down below. Other than that, if you enjoyed this video, then please give me a like, share and subscribe. Maybe somebody else will like to watch my videos. Invite your friends to watch over, come over and watch my videos with you. I don't know if that's your thing. Also, if you didn't like the video, then please dislike it and tell me why you disliked it so that I can improve for next time. But until that next time, thank you guys so much for watching and goodbye.